passes to blame for traffic backups that left hundreds locked out of a park. Also, a royal sibling rivalry. Prince Harry with a very honest answer to a straightforward question. And we have a pumpkin carver here today that can actually turn this into this. Lunch break starts right now.
It's your lunch break with Jay Crawford.
And welcome to Lunch Break. It is Monday. It's a beautiful day outside.
Yes,
Betsy's here.
Yep.
And I'm glad you're here, Betsy, because your name came up this weekend.
Oh.
My wife and I are doing yard work yesterday. It's gorgeous. Thank you for the beautiful weekend. And I thought I would sound smart, and I said to my wife, I think this is our Indian summer. And she quickly snapped and said, no, it's not. Betsy said it's not.
It's not yet.
And she started trying to explain it to me, and I thought, I'll just get the explanation from you.
It's all about the freeze and frost. So we have to have a good heavy frost.
First.
And then you get 3 or more days of above average.
And that's Indian summer.
Yeah.
I stand corrected.
So we haven't had that quite yet.
One reason it's
everywhere.
great to have you in.
Well,
for clarification on that.
Every now and then. We do try and keep it a little murky, though.
Hey, we're having fun today with jack-o'-lanterns. Mike Pickett is here, and this guy he's an artist at making jack-o'-lanterns, and there he is. He's working on something a little special that we're going to show you what it is later in the show. He's got some really cool ones behind him too. We'll take you all through that and get some tips for how we can make a better jack-o'-lantern. First on the menu today, though, a very serious topic. We have a deal in the opioid lawsuit. Obviously, this was the landmark lawsuit brought against 3 drug distributors, originally on behalf of 2,300 different municipalities nationwide. Just before the case was to begin today, Cuyahoga and Summit counties reached a settlement. That settlement worth $260 million. It brings the total payouts, including previous settlements now, to $325.4 million, Betsy.
And Summit County and Cuyahoga County, really the epicenter of this entire thing. In 2017, Ohio had the second highest rate of opioid-related overdose deaths in the entire country. Today's decision to settle is one Cuyahoga County Executive Armin Budish stands by.
Had we gone to trial, even if we had won more money, it probably would have been 5-10 years before we saw that money because of appeals. We understand how the process works. We need the money on the streets helping people today. That's what this settlement does.
Well, that's the explanation as to why the settlement now. We had a lot of questions off today's news, and we wanted to give you 3 big takeaways. And to help, we brought in our legal expert, Stephanie Haney. $325 million, that's a lot of money, Stephanie. How is that money spent?
Well, we know right off the top that $5 million is going to legal fees.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, that's a lot of money. I mean, a lot of legal fees, comparatively smaller to what it would have cost if they actually went to trial. Some of it will also go to charitable contributions to nonprofits to help with the opioid epidemic. $25 million of that will go to products like Suboxone, Naloxone, Teva will be providing those. This was part of the settlement today. Most of it, though, will be cash paid to Cuyahoga and Summit counties, and the counties will get to decide how that money is spent.
Wow. And, it's just been such a huge problem, not just here in Ohio, even though Summit and Cuyahoga counties are the epicenter. Obviously, there's a lot of people waiting in line to see how this is going to play out. There's more than 2,400 cities, counties, tribes waiting to see how this plays out. So what happens next with this?
Well, had this gone to trial, this really would have been the benchmark for how these cases would have been handled in federal court right here in front of federal Judge Dan Polster. It didn't go to trial. The goal actually was to have this also be settled to encompass all of these cases as well. That also didn't happen.
Okay.
So because that didn't happen, this specifically deals with Cuyahoga and Summit counties. So there's really no precedent set here. Now, the plaintiff's executive committee in these cases did say that those other cases will move forward, but we don't know what will happen. They could go to trial, they could settle, and this case isn't even over yet. Walgreens was part of this lawsuit, and they were not part of the settlement today.
They're denying everything.
Wow.
So that trial, they said, might take place, if it does go to trial, if Walgreens doesn't eventually settle, first part of next year.
So the counties here get paid. My question is, what about the families that may have lost loved ones to opioid overdoses, or those that were addicted to opioids? Do they have future action, perhaps a class action lawsuit, and what would the chances be of something like that being successful?
That is a really tough question, and here's why. There have been 400,000 deaths since 1999 related to legal and illegal opiate abuse. So every one of these cases is different. You're going to have to look at causation in every one of those cases. You know, we're dealing with distributors and drug makers here. What we're not looking at here are the doctors, DEA oversight, street pushers, all these kinds of things. So when you're looking at proving causation, that's a tough question. And as hard as it is to say, some of that responsibility may also fall on the people, unfortunately, who we've lost to this epidemic, because we are personal people making choices here. So it would be tough.
Well, they were originally seeking billions of dollars. We've settled now, obviously, for the 300+ million. So it's a drop in the bucket compared to what they need.
It is.
And 2,300 plus municipalities still waiting. And this verdict will be in the billions, tens of billions. It's going to be a huge number when it's all said and done. Stephanie, thanks. We appreciate the clarity. Okay, boy, what a weekend it was up in Sandusky. I was, unfortunately, one of the thousands that were jammed up in Cedar Point traffic Saturday. I went there just to use my boat. I didn't even want to go to the park, and I had to sit in it. Yeah, ha-ha is right. It took me an hour to get from Chagrin Falls to Sandusky and another hour to get from Sandusky to my boat. But compared to what many were dealing with, that was easy because I was following on Twitter. People were furious, and they think a lot of this stems from the overselling of those gold passes, which for $99 gets you in however many times you want.
the rest of this year and all of next season.
Crazy.
So there's people that think this is just the harbinger of the way things are going to be all next season.
I believe so.
It's a big park. There's a lot of people. It just happened that this was a phenomenal weather weekend.
It was.
And everybody, my 4-year-old was in the back seat. Can we go to Cedar Point?
Really?
It's such a nice day. Can we go to Cedar Point?
Wow.
So everybody was thinking that way. And obviously, the people have spoken. Twitter lit up, as you can imagine. Jack wrote, just drove 2 hours to be told Cedar Point has closed. We're heading home and driving back here tomorrow. If it's closed again, I'm going to Kennywood. Right? I think a lot of people, you know, the Cleveland snark was happening for sure.
Absolutely.
Jen said, pathetic. I can't believe I bought that gold pass. Now, here's the thing that I say.
Me neither.
Because I bought gold passes for my family because it was such a good deal.
Yeah.
You go twice, it's paid for?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, come on. I mean, just because you didn't get in one day doesn't mean that next season you're not going to not get in.
But the inconvenience, there were some, I saw Twitter, some came from Michigan that had the pass. So the inconvenience is you're driving 2 or 3 hours. You're sitting in line for 2 hours. You're told you can't get in. You turn around, you go home, 2 or 3 hour drive. Here's a solution, a potential solution. I'm all about trying to find ideas.
Right.
They need to, on their app, disclose what capacity the park is at all times. So
Next
if the park
season,
is
they
at
may
7,
do that.
they need to, because look, if you're driving from Michigan, there's no way for you to know that the park gate is going to be closed until you sit in traffic for 2 hours.
And Cedar Point had no idea this was going to happen.
No, they were caught off guard.
They completely were. And so
I don't think this ever happened, Betsy.
Well, I actually had a couple words with the general manager asking how things went and whatnot, and he said this is the first time in his career that
I'm from Sandusky.
Happened, so.
I've had passes my entire life. I can never remember an incident where this happened. It really was. It was crazy. Okay, we all have family drama. You'd agree.
Of course.
Imagine, Betsy, if there were legions of reporters dedicated to covering yours. What a mess that could be, right?
Mess.
Yeah, nobody wants their family laundry out there, but that is the reality for the royals. And now Prince Harry is actually talking about the much discussed status of his relationship with his older brother, Prince William. Watch.
There's been a lot of talk in the press about rifts with your brother. How much of that is true?
Part of this role and part of this job and this family being under the pressure that it's under, inevitably, stuff happens. But look, we're brothers. We'll always be brothers. We're certainly on different paths at the moment, but I will always be there for him, and as I know, he'll always be there for me. We don't see each other as much as we used to because we're so busy. But I love him dearly, and the majority of the stuff is the majority of stuff is created out of nothing. But it's just, as I said, as brothers, you have good days, you have bad days.
Interesting. Very honest. What's your take on that?
So I think they're normal people.
Right.
They just happen to live in palaces and be able to do whatever they want to do,
palace.
supposedly. But, you go back, right? Diana was very concerned about this. She did not like that attention on her boys, and she really did everything she could to try and push that away when they were out in public. The other thing is, if you go to the what is it, Netflix show Queen, Queen, right?
Right.
And the little contention between Queen Elizabeth and Princess Margaret that was noted in papers, and they were followed all along. I think just now the scrutiny is so much more intense.
It is. And to me, the irony, really, this part of the sadness is William and Harry lost their mother because she was running from the spotlight. Literally, she was in a car chase trying to flee paparazzi when the car she was driving crashed in a tunnel and she was killed. Now comes word that Harry told documentarians actually that he and his new bride Meghan, along with their new son Archie, are contemplating leaving the UK to live in Africa, and he said Cape Town might be the ultimate landing spot.
Whoopee! Go for it.
I say,
right?
More power to you.
Your kids live with you?
Leave. That one's in San Diego and one's in New York City.
There you go. I don't live with my parents either, so.
Yeah, it happens.
Yeah, it does.
We finally moved out from our parents,
didn't we?
We?
Royals, too.
From the Royals to a pumpkin masterpiece. Betsy, this guy's incredible. His name's Mike Pickett. He's here today. This dude is nasty at carving pumpkins. He's working on a special one for us. We're not going to show you exactly what it is until the end of the show. But look at what he's done so far. The pumpkins behind him and the detail. There's an OBJ. There, you see OBJ there. There's Baker, middle row, far right. Look at that. The detail.
Yoda?
There's it is Yoda up in the upper left, and
Love
there's the Joker.
It's cool.
It's
Look at
really
those.
cool.
Man, get the old knife out. He's using a rotozip. That's way faster. And when lunch break comes right back, our resident rocker, Monica Robbins, who's fighting a brain tumor, you'll hear just how much this tough woman means to all of us.
Welcome back to Lunch Break. You may have heard that our senior health correspondent, Monica Robbins, has been diagnosed with a brain tumor. Last week, she bravely shared details about the discovery and how she feels as she approaches surgery.
Well, she's been strong, and as usual, she's showing us the way her story should be handled. Today, we want to show you just how much she means to all of us and share some of the messages that we have for her.
I first met Monica, I think, on my second or third day here. She had been on vacation, and I just said, wow. This is someone with an amazing personality.
Monica Robbins is a true original.
We kind of refer to each other as sisters from another mother.
I feel like she's very motherly to me.
She's very real.
Told us just how it is, you know?
She's a soft heart, but man, she's a tough cookie.
People respect her, they look up to her, they trust her.
Monica is beautiful
and very giving.
She is 110 miles an hour. And at the same time,
she's really gentle and soft on the inside, and she's a true sweetheart.
When I got the news of this, it was kind of like something happened to a family member.
And she goes, I have a brain tumor.
I was a little shocked. I was a little scared for her.
I was stunned.
How you doing? And she goes, I'm okay. She goes, it's starting to get real.
Like, you can't believe that those are the words that are coming out of her mouth. I have a brain tumor.
The authority on health and medical and wellness in Cleveland is suddenly herself at the center of a story she never wanted to tell.
The fact that the universe has flipped it on her is a struggle for her.
She said, look, it's a big deal. I'm terrified, but I'm not going to let this get to me.
She wants to use this as an opportunity to be able to help others.
Her attitude is bring it on, and I'm going to kick it.
You want me to tell you she kicks ass? She kicks ass.
I don't think I can use those words here.
Monica is a badass.
Am I allowed to say Monica's a badass?
I would describe Monica as a badass. She is a rocker.
Rocking it. I mean, just going crazy, and the crowd was going crazy.
I think she is a rock star, so Monica Rocks is very fitting.
You have no idea the army of people that are behind you.
You are not going to go through this alone. We have your back.
We know if anybody can handle this, it is you, girlfriend.
If there's anyone who can kick this thing's ass, it's Monica Robbins.
This is the fight of her life, and I expect her to win.
I will cook matzo ball soup for you, and that makes everything better.
I wore Pittsburgh colors today, and I don't wear this color combination very often, so this is for you.
We're going to be there for you 110% all the time, and I'm going to be bombarding your phone.
We're here to give you the strength, and we're going to walk together through this journey. So just hold our hand and let it happen.
My girl. Well, I'll tell you, a lot of people don't know she worked like crazy, turning stories like crazy in the weeks leading up to when she was going to take time off. So she's actually been providing stories even though she's off. And that story ran last week for the first time while she was off. And I sent her a text and said, I got to say bad on TV. I was so excited about that, right? And she texted back, I can't speak. Y'all got me good. There were a few other words in there too.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's old softy, and man, she is so strong.
She is strong, and we're behind you, Monica, 100%. And I know our audience and viewers are too. And if you want to show your support for Monica and send well wishes on social media, please do that. Put a smile on her face. Send her a note with the hashtag Monica Rocks. Yes, she does.
Oh, she kicks it is what she does.
We're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to check in on our pumpkin carving expert. We're going to talk to Mike Pickett. Stay with us. We are 10 days away from Halloween, and you've been seeing his work throughout the show. Mike Pickett is here. He is a guru at carving
Look at
pumpkins.
this.
That is pretty incredible.
That's you. You're a pumpkin.
I've been a pumpkin
Can
before.
I call you Pumpkinhead?
You can now. You can now. That's the show's logo.
That is a really great job.
Thank you. Thank you.
So these are the fake pumpkins, which props to you for carving those, because trying to do the real ones with the old sawing blade, is terrible. Why the fake pumpkins?
I started on real pumpkins, and then I started doing work with, maybe faces, and really started to take off with what I do, and it rots out, right?
Right.
Yeah.
You can try as hard as you can to preserve it, but it will not stay. So about 6 or 7 years ago, I started using the fake ones, and
You can't even tell. I didn't know it was fake until I touched the pumpkin.
they look real.
And do they carve real?
Yeah, they're a little thinner. So if you think about what I call the meat of the pumpkin,
Sure. Yeah.
a real pumpkin is a lot thicker. These are thinner. I could actually do more on a real pumpkin, but again, it rots out.
Right.
Yeah.
So and also the nice thing is, if you mess one up, super glue is your friend.
That's
Very
true.
nice.
Or a
Very
little
nice.
paint, little touch up.
Exactly.
All right, so we have the eagle, we have Iron Man. I mean, these are some pretty incredible pumpkin
Thank you.
carvings that you have going on here. Where do you get your inspiration, and who's your biggest request?
So actually, the biggest request is custom stuff.
Okay.
So people send me pictures of their kids, dogs, whatever.
TV anchors.
TV anchors, exactly. That's probably the biggest request. Inspiration is definitely the art. I love watching people's reactions and watching their faces. I've had people laugh. I've had people cry. I've had people keep them up all year long. That's the inspiration. A lot of artists, they might do it for the money. For me, it's not the money. It's watching people's reactions and enjoying it.
What if someone says, that's really cool, I want one of my son? How do they get a hold of you? How does this go down? You're taking requests, clearly.
Oh, yeah. Right now is a busy time of the year for me. So my website is illuminatedcarves.com. And if you want to send me an email, that's probably the best way. You send me pictures, I'll give you a quote, and it's pretty simple. It's mike@illuminatedcarves.com.
How long does one take, typically?
As far as the order process, just a couple days, but the carving process, I'm getting pretty quick at it. I can do them under an hour, depending on if I've carved it again.
How long has
So
this taken you?
I started this at the beginning of the show, and we're almost done with it. So
Because that looked, at first I thought maybe it was going to be Frankenstein, and then it turned into Jay Crawford. So.
That's amazing how that happens. Listen, the similarity between Frankenstein and I, it's just the bolts in the neck.
I can put bolts in there if you want.
That is so cool. I love the idea that it sticks around. So if you do one like a Cleveland Cavaliers logo or a player that's going to stick around for a while, you just bring it out of storage the next year, put it on your porch, and it's good to go.
And the kids can't steal it and throw it down the hill in Chagrin Falls. Doesn't work.
Very good. So if someone was to ask you, is there anything that someone's asked you to carve that you'll say, no, that's just, I'm not going to do that? Obscenities, anything that you just don't think is a good idea?
Like cake decorating? Is that what you're talking about? I tried to get cake decorated
before. That's where I'm going with
I've carved some interesting stuff. I won't get into some of this stuff, but some of it is in birthday suits, let's just say that.
Wow.
But no,
Okay.
I've carved, I don't really say no to anything except for maybe like strongly trademarked stuff. That's really it.
Yeah,
that's
interesting.
so cool.
Do you have a favorite?
The eagle right here.
That's
It's
awesome.
my absolute favorite, yeah.
It is beautiful.
That's my favorite pumpkin. I've been doing a lot of stuff on the white ones lately, so it looks good.
Well, Mike, thank you so much for stopping by and showing
Thank
us what you do. We're going to take a quick break on lunch break, and when we come back, we're going to kill the studio lights to show you how cool these things look in the dark. They look even better. Stay with us. That's really cool, Mike.
Thank
Very
you.
nice. The scariest one up there, Jay/Frankenstein in the bottom right.
You finished your eyes at least, so now you have like pupils and everything. So there's that. But look at those; those are amazing. I personally love the Yoda. That's my favorite.
I do too. Emma, kill the lights, please.
Here we go.
Can you kill the lights for us?
Lights off.
So the lights are going to be killed in the studio.
Maybe.
Emma, kill the lights. There they go. Oh, huh? We told you. Mike, thanks. You do
Thanks for making 3 News a part of your afternoon. Watch us live wherever you are, on our website, on our apps, and on Hulu and Roku. No matter where you are, 3 News is there.